We are decision makers, and we know very well that it's crucially important for Europe to have an independent body to help us to decide in the process of regulation or legislation making. We know that we need EFSA, we need EMA, we need all the European Union agencies, but we have to trust these agencies and we have to be absolutely confident that we can trust them.
This subject is particularly worrying because of the way comitology operates. For European Parliament members, we find comitology leaves a lot to be desired. MEPs have a lot of problems in intervening. Often we can give an opinion from time to time. The deadlines are all extremely hard to respect.
We can do something against exposure, but we can do nothing at all with aging or individual susceptibility. So as legislators, what you can do is just to take a low level, the maximum, lowest level of exposure. We have two kinds of laboratory, one certified, which perform industrial research, and another one which perform what we call social research.
The basic principle that we're talking about here is the issue of industry science versus independent science. These two seem to have diverged. And it's interesting that they often have conflicting views with respect to products that are being reviewed for their safety. Industry typically concludes that these products are safe, whereas independent science often uncovers harm.
Industry should pay money for tests into a central fund administered by government, and government must commission independent labs to do the testing. Solution 2, include independent science in the risk assessment. Regulators must include all competent peer-reviewed independent studies in the risk assessment, and they must publish rigorous scientific reasons for rejecting any study from the risk assessment.
An annual declaration of interest within EFSA is a prerequisite to join a working group. So the chair would propose someone to be part of a working group, and EFSA would ask that person to submit an annual declaration of interest, and we screen the interests that are declared if there is or if there not is a general conflict of interest vis-a-vis the task of the working group. There may be notes in the database specifying that the expert cannot deal with this or that because there is a potential conflict of interest.
It's about a fundamental misunderstanding sometimes of the latency of some of the phenomena that we are dealing with. In other words, if you set up a longitudinal study, and I'll use mobile telephones as an example, we would not expect to see cancers appearing for quite a long period of time. So there is no point, in fact, bringing evidence forward after 5 years, after 8 years. But the first study that turns up, round about 10, 15 years, that shows even small evidence should be a warning signal.